house, Paolo Banchero.
Woo, boy, it was Toumani Camara's house just a few nights ago here inside Moda Center when he absolutely took over the game defensively, gave the Orlando Magic fits. Guys like Paolo Banchero, who are pretty darn good players, struggling to get shots off, all thanks to one of the best defenders in the league. And the Blazers go on and grab a 119-90 victory to continue their recent hot streak. Welcome in to Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you up next to the Pines up at Section 330. So if you get here early to Moda, come up here, say hi, and enjoy the fun that is Rip City at the moment, because my goodness, the Blazers, winners of 6 of their last 7. The only loss in that stretch is a loss to the number 1 team in the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and everything has been looking incredible, absolutely incredible. As I tweeted out during the game, I was like, this is like, I don't know what happened. This is not the Blazer team we're used to, and I'm not complaining about it. I'm not complaining about it. They looked so good over this recent stretch. And again, you look at that game against Orlando, you look at the game against the Bucks, it's like, it's defensively, they're playing great, man. They're playing so darn good. And what I also like about this team is you look specifically at that game in Orlando, they get out early and they're struggling. They're kind of coming out of the gate slow. But they had to have an answer for it, and they did in this one. In fact, Orlando started the game on an 8-0 run and then a 10-0 run. If you count the next point that they scored, you're like, it is 10-zip. What's going on? What's going on? Blazers need to figure something out. Toumani Camara finally gets a bucket for the Blazers at the 8:30 mark. That was the first bucket the Blazers made. And then they would go on a 15-8 run of their own. It would made that a 18-15 game in favor of Orlando. And they'd keep putting it on and try to get it close, but they were trailing 35-28 after the first quarter. And then after that quarter, though, the switch was flipped. The Blazers outscored the Magic 34-18 in the second quarter, including opening on a 23-11 run. Scoot hit a couple threes. The Blazers were just red hot, and they ended up leading at halftime 62-53. And then you've seen these games before where the Blazers, they get that answer, or they go into the halftime with the lead, and you're like, okay, the third quarter is the question mark. That is the question mark. How good can they be in the third quarter? Don't have that third quarter letdown, and they absolutely did not in this one. It was a quick 11-4 run to open up the scoring there in the third quarter. Took a 73-57 lead, and they led 91-73 after 3 quarters. And again, at that point, it was basically over. The Blazers doing everything they could do to make sure that the Magic didn't claw back, and that's exactly what you want to see. And again, this game was won. Yes, the offense had its moments and things were churning, but defensively, man, this team looks so good. And especially those blocks by Toumani Camara, man, as we played there in the open. They're so nice. I think you got to hear them again.
Carter the rebound, sees Banchero. He drives all the way to the rim. Blocked by Camara. Turned away Banchero. Gives it up to Banchero. Sharp's in front of him. Drives. Blocked again at the rim by Camara. Toumani Camara says, this is my house, Paolo Banchero.
Yes, and as we said, it was his house. I mean, Paulo thought he had a clean drive to the rim, and there was Toumani Camara, just met him at the apex, shoved the ball right back down to the floor. Now, Paulo did have a good game. He ended with 21 points in this one. Franz Wagner had 24 points in this one. Wendell Carter had 12. Cole Anthony had 16 points and 2 dirty plays, diving for loose balls, and took out the legs of Shaedon Sharpe and Toumani Camara. And again, I don't think that he's a dirty player. The plays, though, were not very nice. Those are the type of plays where players can get injured, and so you gotta understand those situations, my guy. But again, Magic couldn't get anything going. They're a good defensive team, but offensively, the Blazers played pretty well in this one. They shot 52% from the floor, 48% from beyond the arc, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists from Deni Avdija. Toumani Camara only had 7 points, but defensively was everything you needed him to be. DeAndre Ayton, I thought, was absolutely incredible. 22 points, 8 rebounds. When he's locked in, it makes a difference. It absolutely makes a difference because he's been very, very good over these last few games. And the quote he said post-game was along the lines of like, I've been here this whole time. They're just finally catching up, when he was asked about if the recent play has kind of reinvigorated him. And I thought that was a funny answer from him. Scoot Henderson, 23 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, a very solid game. And then Shaden Sharp off the bench had 23 points. And it's interesting, man, because Shai's quiet, right? We all know Shai can be quiet, but there was a situation in that game where Goga Badatse kind of knocked over Tumani Kamara. It looked like Shai saw it out of the corner of his eye, came over, hit him hard in the back. The two went out, and from that point, it led to angry Shaden Sharp, which is something Scoot Henderson talked about after the game.
I love when Shaden out there mad. I got to find a way to kind of make him mad before we even start playing. But, man, yeah, seeing Shaden out there just hooping, that's my dog, so I'm always happy for him regardless, whether the ball's going in or it's not, whatever it is, just trying to cheer on each other. And Shaden does a good job of just remaining himself and doing the awesome things that he does.
And I like that. He said he's going to have to find ways to make him angry. But he's not the only one that noticed that there was a difference in Shaden Sharp when he was playing with that little bit of an edge, because Coach talked about it as well.
I love it. I want somebody to get into it with Shaden every game. We need it. He needs it. Every time he gets upset out there, it's happened another time. I think it was Dylan Brooks at one time this year. Every time it happens, it takes him to another level. So I love a mad Shaden. We're best like that.
And I love that. I love a mad Shaden. We're best like that. And if that's what it takes to unlock him, go make him mad. Take away his favorite pregame drink. I don't know if he prefers his locker room set up the same way. Mess with it. Don't really mess with it. But you get what I'm saying. Find a way to make him mad, man, because mad Shai leads to great games, and he had a very good one coming off the bench. And I do think he started to play a lot better and is answering the call, right? Because he was put on the bench because Coach didn't like his defense, thought he was, kind of going through the motions at times, and I think he's answered very, very well. Now, again, he had a great game, but again, Tumani Kamara, you can't talk about the Blazers' recent stretch without talking about Tumani Kamara. And in that game, he had the blocks. We played the highlight for you. Paulo goes to the rim. He gets blocked twice by Tumani Kamara, and everyone sits here and says he's only getting better. How good can he be? And I want you to listen to what Coach said after the game, because it might hit you as hard as it hit me, because the praise was through the roof.
His ceiling, we don't know what it could be. Defensively, he wants to be the best in the world. He really does. He took 2 charges in the first half, didn't get either one of them. And I'm on these refs all the time saying he's the best in the league. Like, how? Because he's the best. He really is. I mean, he leads the league at it. So, we don't know what his level, could stop at, but we won't know, because he's going to continue. He will continue to get better and better and better.
He will continue to get better and better. And then, of course, when he says he wants to be the best in the league, like, that's powerful. I mean, and we've talked about this before. It's just a guy who wants to go play defense stands out like a sore thumb, right? Because you just don't see it enough. And Tumani is so smart in the fact that he understood that that's where he's going to get on the floor and that's where he's going to make his calling. And then rather than just say, hey, that's how I'm getting on the floor, he's like, that's how I'm going to be a stud in this league now. It's going to take me to the next step in the maturation, because he is already one of the best defenders in the league. As Damian Lillard said, I'm defended by the best perimeter defenders in the league, and he's right up there near the top. Like, that's just high praise. What Tumani has been able to do in, less than 2 years in this league, it's pretty darn incredible. It's pretty darn incredible. This is Blazers Game Day. I am your host, Chris Burkhardt. You can follow me on social at Chris J. Burkhardt. You can also follow my producer, Brenden Slaughter, at B_Slot. He's doing a great job back there in the studio. But we're going to take a quick break here on Blazers Game Day. When we come back, we're going to head down to the Coach's Corner, hear what Coach Billups has to say ahead of tonight's game against the Phoenix Suns. Once again, this is Blazers Game Day, presented by Coors Light on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio, 620. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here for you. We're just waiting for Coach Billups to head to the podium. So while we buy just a few seconds, Brenden, it is time for the Coach's Corner. All right, we're just waiting on Coach Billups. As soon as he gets up to the podium, Brenden will pod him up. You'll hear him start talking, and I'll sit back for a minute. Hope he drops some gems, man. I love what he was saying about Tamani Kamara in that clip we played earlier about just the defense and how he wants to be the best in the world. Like, it's so nice to hear the praise from Coach in that aspect, and especially in the last couple weeks, right, where Coach has been pretty critical of his guys. Hey, I need better defense from this guy. I need better offense from this guy. I need this guy to lock in. And the fact that they're starting to do it, and now you're getting the post-game pressers and the pregame where he's talking about it and praising him a little bit for listening and doing those things that he wanted him to do. That's exactly what you like. But I hear Chauncey's heading to the podium, so let's head down there right now.
You know, usually in those games, they get the offensive players and the exciting guys most of the time, but Tua has certainly shown that he's a rising star, you know, in this league. So I was really happy for him, man, and so were the guys.
Coach, when you look at just Phoenix, they're full strength for the first time in a long time. What are you seeing with them as of late?
Yeah, they're playing great, man. You know, obviously their shot making always stands out. You know, they just got shooters all over the place and got two guys that can, you know, and sometimes three when Bill has the ball enough where they can kind of command double teams and create advantages. And they got that ball popping. They're doing a really good job moving the ball lately. You know, it's one of the things that I've seen. But yeah, they're playing at a pretty high level. Defensively, they've been playing a lot harder. You know, they're playing a pretty complete game.
Ant mentioned the post game after the Milwaukee game that you guys are a lot better against half-court offenses. Can you take the stuff that you learn defensively in the half-court and try to apply that to the teams that play a little bit faster, that go a little bit more read and react? Like, can you grow that with those young guys?
Yeah, you have to, but there's just so many other things that go into it. You know, taking care of the ball is one of them. Taking good shots is one of them. You know, when you don't do those two things, they lead to really fast offense. You know, so there's just so many things that go into it. You know, and I've always thought that one, you know, when you're talking about transition defense, it's about the first three steps and communication. If you jog those first three steps and the other team is sprinting, they're going to have an advantage. You get back, a lot of times you can't run back to your man. You got to run back to a man, and you got to communicate. So there's a lot of different factors in it, man, you know. But our transition defense has been much better, you know, last month or whatever. So we focused on it. We've gotten better at it. And we want to just try to stay consistent. It'll be big tonight. This team gets out. Kick aheads, Booker's trying to catch it on a kick ahead and get downhill the entire time. I mean, it'll be tested today.
Do you feel like you guys have found that balance on the offensive glass that has kind of enabled you to be better in transition too?
Yeah, I think, you know, we're a team that likes to crash. And when we do, you know, most teams are worried about us crashing. So, you know, they don't leak out as much, you know, because you got to get the ball first. So when we crash, we're a better team, you know, which I'm always saying that when we're the aggressor, we give ourselves a chance. That's an aggressive part of the game, you know, is crashing. So we've had some lulls in that, you know, and then we've picked it back up too. So another part of the game that you want to just remain consistent.
Yeah, you guys are still in the bottom five in three-point shooting, but lately you guys have done a lot better. What's for the change there for you guys?
I always think the quality of shot matters. If you're playing good enough where you're creating closeouts and you're creating, drive, kick, swing situations, and you can actually set your feet and have time to shoot it, you're probably going to shoot it a little better, as opposed to just these quick shots, with no ball movement, and you're not even set. You're just so happy to have it. You're shooting it. You're probably going to shoot a lesser percentage. So it's about the quality of shots, and I think the way that we've played, we've been getting pretty good quality there, which I think results in the uptick.
So you feel like the shooting talent has been there, it just hasn't been able to flourish because the shots haven't been?
We could be better. We could be better. I think there's a lot of times that we have some really, really rough shooting nights. I don't think we're that poor of a shooting team. I think there were things that happen. And then there's some nights where we shoot it 50%, 48%. We're probably not that good either, So it's in there somewhere, in the middle somewhere.
Fair.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
There you hear from Coach Billups. And right off the bat there, he's talking about Toumani Camara, man. That's right, Toumani Camara getting into the Rising Star Challenge, which is very nice. He wasn't an initial selection, but due to some of the injuries and what have you, he gets to play in it. So that's pretty awesome, especially like Coach is talking about. Like, offense tends to be something everyone focuses on. He's out here playing so good defensively, he deserves it. So it's nice to see Toumani getting some of that praise and getting a chance to show out an all-star weekend. And the Blazers, as Coach was saying there too, they need to be locked in and ready to go defensively. It's going to be big for them tonight against a team who can get out and move the ball well. Already has beaten Portland twice this season, but Portland has kept those games fairly close. And so, Portland can have a chance to continue this hot streak of play. And I think if you go out there and you play Phoenix and you do lose by 6 points, which is what you've lost by your last 2 games, you still feel good about it. And speaking of Toumani getting to play in the Rising Star Challenge, Scoot Henderson will also be down there, and he is having the best stretch of his young career. I mean, his month of January, he was absolutely on fire. He's shooting the ball from beyond the arc with great efficiency. The assists are there. You can tell that he's just more comfortable in himself, playing very, very well. And that's exactly what you want to see from Scoot, right? And, of course, in that Orlando game, he's in the starting lineup, and I do think that matters because I think he plays better when he's in the starting lineup because of the players around him and getting a lot of time with Denny and the defense that Toumani brings. Now, Scoot will not be in the starting lineup tonight. Right there at the beginning of Coach's presser, Jeremy Grant is back tonight in the lineup, so you're going back to the Ant 2, Denny, Jeremy, DA lineup. So we'll see what Scoot can do tonight. Hopefully he can put it together. And you talk about him playing better in the starting lineup. And I think part of that is because that's where DA is. I think if you're going to bring him off the bench, that you still need to try to maximize the amount of minutes he plays with DeAndre Ayton, because the things that DA can do offensively help open up Scoot. It helps give him the assist. DA has been rolling a lot better to the rim as of late. And the two of them have a lot of chemistry. And DA was asked about Scoot Henderson after the game against the Magic.
Amazing, phenomenal. I mean, I can't even put words together. I've been saying this since he been drafted. He's going to be dangerous. He's a damn near one-man fast break, and any pick and rolls, if he's a downhill type of guy, he will break your defense and get in your paint. And that's what you see him do: get easy layups and take bigs off the dribble when they want to switch defenses. I roll to the rim hard and I let Scoot do his thing. And his energy has been crazy. He's becoming a true point guard, being very vocal and talking to everybody, starters and bench. And you let him embrace his stuff and let him break the huddles and bring huddles in, and see what type of player he's becoming.
And so you hear DA just right there. He loves the player he's becoming. He's becoming more vocal, and he's letting his skills take over, and DA's bouncing off of that. So you would ideally hope that, again, when Scoot does get in tonight, you maximize those minutes that he can play with DeAndre Ayton. I mean, when you have Donovan Clingan in there right now, and if you run a bench rotation like you've seen many times, like if Scoot's out there with Toumani Camara and Chris Murray and Jabari Walker and Donovan Clingan, Scoot's not going to have a good game. You need some of those offensive weapons next to him and some guys that can space him and feed off of him and play off of him quite well. And again, DA, I think him and Scoot have a lot of good chemistry right now. And that's why I think both of them, quite frankly, over the last 5-6 games have been playing extremely well. All right, this is Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. We're live up next to the Pines at Section 330. So if you get in the moto when doors open here in a few minutes, head on up here, say hi, and we'll continue to talk Blazers and get you ready for this matchup. Game 1 of 2 tonight against the Phoenix Suns. But we're going to take a quick little break here, and when we come back, it'll be time for our Coors Cold Hard Facts. And the fact today, it's all about accountability. Accountability in a good way, too. And I'm going to tell you why. When we return on Blazers Game Day, presented by Coors Light, on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio, 620. All right, YouTubers, how you looking over there? We're in radio break, so let's talk about not Blazer stuff for a second. Jason typed in the chat. He said, who do you all have winning the Men's Royal Rumble tonight? Wait, wrong chat. Was it? Was it the wrong chat? I'm always down to talk wrestling. You know that. I don't know. Is this? I think you give it to Punk this year. Punk wins it. Finally gets to go main event WrestleMania. I think that'd be pretty sweet. Jacob Fatu would be kind of fun. The Rock. The Rock doesn't need it, though. Like, The Rock does not need it. Like, people will say, oh, The Rock's going to come, and he's going to enter the Rumble, he's going to win. What is he going to do with it? Challenge Cody Rhodes? No one wants to see that. I don't want to see The Rock versus Cody. I want to see The Rock versus Roman. You do not. I've been long on this, especially, Roman, you do not need a title to make that a must-watch. People want to see WrestleMania match. I mean, yeah, Alexa Bliss did return. Fan out, man. I'm a big fan of Alexa Bliss. Cool to see her back. Charlotte won, to no one's surprise. I think we all saw that one coming. They're going to try to put a strap back on her. The women's division is pretty deep right now with talent, but that top end, they still need some people to carry them, man. I want to see Charlotte's fun. She's always fun. What she can do in the ring is unreal. But what other men's wrestlers are? Give it to Gunter would be good. Seth doesn't need it. A surprise entrant would be pretty sweet. Give me a sweet surprise entrant that no one's even thinking about. Or as Timmy Hammock would be excited, if you just shot Joe Hendry to the moon right now, just let him win that thing. Oh yeah, I believe in Joe Hendry. Yeah, especially since you're doing a thing with TNA now, or Impact, whatever they call it. It'd be kind of cool if you got Bubba Ray Dudley, but not as one of the Dudley boys, as like Bully Ray. That'd be kind of I would see that would be a fun surprise entrant. Huh. AJ Styles doesn't need it. I geeked. I want some fun surprises though. I geeked so hard when AJ Styles was the surprise entrant. Yeah, Timmy, let Ripsy Ray know how Brendan's doing in your fantasy. All I know is he looks good in green and yellow, Brendan. That's all I know. All right, YouTube, we're going to take a break. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day, where it is time now for our Coors Cold Hard Facts. And as I told you before the commercial break, the facts today are about being accountable and how accountability matters, right? And sometimes you don't like hearing things because you like to think you know it all, right? And then you get held accountable, or you get, thrown a bone, so to speak, right? Someone critiques you or gives you input, and you take it to heart, and then you get better from it, right? And some people don't like to hear it. And then when they realize that it's good for them, they start to take it. It benefits you. I know at my old job, my boss, who happened to be one of my good friends too, like he critiqued me one day, and I did not like it because it just didn't feel good. It didn't feel good to say, something you were doing wasn't working, right? And then after I got past that point, and then I let it sink in, I'm like, yeah, he was right. He was absolutely right. I got some good feedback on this show over the last few days from Chad and from Kevin Calabro. And it doesn't mean sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, oh man, what, but then you're like, they know what they're talking about. And then you try to refine it, and then you get better, and man, it's so nice. It's so nice to be held accountable, right? And the reason that is the Coors Cold Hard Fact is because the Blazers have got to that point. They have got to that point where being held accountable is leading to good things, right? Where players are being able to say, hey, you messed up there, man, fix it. This is what you need to do. And it's not just the vets looking down at the young guys. It's the young guys looking up at the vets and calling them out. Everybody is held accountable. There is no, I can hold you accountable, but you can't say the same things to me. And it's led to some open and honest conversations, and it's led to better play. And it's something that they have been talking about in some of these post-game press conferences. So I want to hear first from DeAndre Ayton, who kind of highlights what I just said about the no hypocrisy, right? Anybody can talk to anybody, and that's why the team is playing so well.
Yeah, the key thing is togetherness, man. Being around a lot of young dudes that want to learn, want to listen, and, they're like sponges, and they're not taking anything for granted. And the thing we try to change up in this organization is the way how we approach these games. And, you can see the results of where we at now.
What has gone into changing that?
Togetherness. Us being together. Accountability. Everybody, youngest team, whatever, you're in the league. So, coaches giving the vets, guys like me, to get on some of these dudes. And they taking it to the chin, and they throwing it right back at us too. So there's no hypocrisy on this team. Everybody's really locked in and loaded, and we got each other's back, and we've been having fun with it as well. So, moving the ball, it generates everything. You can see the energy and the spirits has changed. So
Has all of that fired you up and helped you go to another level?
I've been here, man. I've been here. I've just been waiting for these boys to catch up.
I love that little, I've been here. I've just been waiting for these boys to catch up, he says. And the boys are catching up, okay? But it was good, wasn't it, Brenden? But it's funny because, again, the accountability, and he's talking about how once they all got on that page, the energy was lifted, and the team is playing better because of it, man. And so I just go back to that, never take those things personal, right? But when accountability and critiques are coming from the right place and with good intentions, then you can do some really, really good things, right? Some really, really good things together, and I love that. And it wasn't just DA. Like I said, the old guys are holding the young guys accountable, and the young guys are seeing that, and they're trying to hold everyone accountable too. And again, those open lines of communication, it doesn't matter whether you're playing basketball, you're hosting radio, you're working at the docks, you're working at the meat shop, you're working at the gym, whatever you're doing, any job you're at, the open lines of communication are what lead to success. And that's why you have to have them again. And the accountability is something Scoot Henderson also talked about.
Well, my goal is to be more of a voice, to be more talkative for everybody. And that's kind of what I've been doing. Just talking more and kind of just being the leader while I'm out there, this team has multiple leaders, but while I'm out there, I could try my best to lead our group on both sides of the floor, tell us to talk a little bit more, and like DA said, hold each other accountable, and that's what we've all been doing. Pretty sure one of them told you this, but coaches asked us all are we willing to be held accountable? And we all said yes. So I think we all just took a turn, from that day on for us to do that and take initiative and being better in that area.
Yeah, again, there you go. Coaches asked us, are you willing to be held accountable? We all said yes. And ever since that day, we've taken a turn. And so good on Scoot, good on DA, and good on the team, because I do think that is a key reason that they've been playing so well over the last 2 weeks, 7 games plus. Okay, winners of 6 of their last 7. People mad that they're not in the tank, but the basketball has been beautiful. The open lines of communication allow for that. And not only that, I think the team is playing looser because of it. And you look at that game against Orlando. Obviously, we've started to see the John Cena, you can't see me, right? Hand signal. Maybe he'll win the Royal Rumble tonight, since people were asking me who was going to win, right? Denny Avdia's favorite wrestler growing up. And so he's doing the John Cena celebration over at the bench. The bench is doing it back after the N1. They're all laughing. They're having a good time. I took notice of Ryan Rupert getting in late in the game. He had the great Euro step, gets the bucket. You look over to the bench, not a single player sitting down. All up, all cheering. DeAndre Ayton running down the baseline, mimicking the Euro step. Like, the team is having fun. And because of that, they're playing loose with a little less care of just hitting everything perfect and just getting into their groove. And again, that's something I happened to ask Coach about after the game.
Man, it's taken a while, for us to get to this point, but you just see us so connected out there, so connected. And I think all of y'all know that have been here with me. I've always said the whole time I want to be the team that nobody likes to play against. Nobody wants to play against a team that plays hard, plays together. They're so happy for one another. They play for each other on both sides of the ball. And that's just kind of what you're seeing right now, So I'm just proud of them. I think it comes over time. You never know when it will come. And I said it before, too. We'll still be up and down most of the season. We're still young. But I want our guys to just know what it feels like when we're doing it the right way, But it's a long season. And I'm just proud of our dudes, man. And I just take this thing one game at a time.
And I do think that matters, too, in the long run. When this is something, this stretch of the last 7 games, that this team has not experienced, at all in the, post-game era. And so understanding what this feels like, too, not just what it feels like to go and get loss after loss after loss, this is important in the long run for this team when they build the chemistry, the cohesion, again, the ability to hold each other accountable and find who your leaders are and just all those little things. When you have fun playing basketball, man, you can be an unstoppable force. Go look at all the championship teams you've seen for a while. You can't tell me that you didn't watch Golden State run through Portland in their dynasty, and every single time they came to Portland, go, gosh, that looks like a team that absolutely hates playing with each other and hates the game of basketball. You couldn't say that. They were having fun. They were having fun. LeBron's Miami teams, right? The Cavs team that finally won. The guys are just having fun playing ball and playing for each other. And I understand that, getting to the playoffs isn't really in the cards, right? But building that culture and just playing for each other and watching good basketball, I'll take that for the rest of the year, and we'll see where it happens. And Coach says, for you guys who've been here with me this whole time, that I want to be a team that nobody wants to come play against, right? Because the tenacity and the defense and we're going to make you work for it. Yeah, nights like this from Toumani Camara, no one's going to want to play against this.
Carter the rebound, sees Banchero. He drives all the way to the rim. Blocked by Camara. Turned away Banchero. Gives it up to Banchero. Sharp's in front of him. Drives. Blocked again at the rim by Camara. Toumani Camara says, this is my house, Paolo Banchero.
It's the Moda Center, and the Moda Center is Toumani's house now. He owns it. He owns it. Yeah, if you're going to knock on the door, he's going to answer. So get ready for that tonight, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant and company. And speaking of Kevin Durant, Devin Booker and company, it's going to be a tall task for the Blazers to keep it rolling tonight against the Phoenix Suns, a team that has a lot of talent and already has 2 wins over your Trailblazers this season. But what exactly will the Blazers have to do to win? You know what? I think I'm going to tell you after the break with our keys to the game. What do the Blazers have to do to get a victory over the Phoenix Suns? This is Blazers Game Day, brought to you by Coors Light. We are going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we'll get you your keys, continue to get you ready for the Suns. Get a bow on this one because, boy, howdy, there's going to be some good basketball being played in just a little bit over an hour because I know I'm not alone when I say it's fun right now watching this Trailblazers basketball team. This is Blazers Game Day presented by Coors Light on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620.